I'm going to try to do something a little bit different than I haven't done before, and that is to talk about some of the photos I shot this week and maybe talk a little bit about them. So, yes, it's Friday, and that's when my weekend's. My weekend's on Friday. So obviously the first photo that I shot was actually last Sunday, and you guys might have seen this photo. And that was kind of interesting because to get this particular shot, I was actually in the water because that was the only way it was going to work. I had happened to be driving by and I saw the moon, and I'm like, I gotta go get a shot of this. So that's what we did. But I also took other shots that you guys probably didn't see. So check this out. So here's the shot that you saw, but I had other photos too. So like here's this guy trying to grab a photo himself on the pier. Here's the Butler Flats Lighthouse with the moon in the back. But I think one of the things that about this particular photo that I thought was kind of funny was that, like, I had no intention of going in the cold water at all, but to get the people and to create the symmetry that happens in this particular photograph, the only way to do that was to actually go in the water, and I was up to waist high. And I was freezing, and I did a really bad mistake, which is I should have left my socks on, so I cut up the bottom of my left foot. I'm fine. So that's how the week started, and that was Sunday. Then the big project that I focused on was Wednesday, when I documented the return of the cross to the top of the Grace Church that has been, the steeple has been under repairs now for a little while. The project's actually been going for like a year, and I've been documenting it since the very beginning. As a matter of fact, I took a photograph about 6 years ago when I happened to find a guy up in the bell tower, and I asked him what was going on. It turns out he was drilling cores to see how bad the damage to the brick was, and I remember thinking to myself, wow, this is pretty high up. Little did I know that on Wednesday, November 16th, I was going to be at the very top. And I can tell you something right now. If you look at the video that I posted yesterday, and you see the footage of the cross being hauled up to the top, so if you haven't seen that yet, you can look on my timeline as well. I can tell you one thing, like, this is what it looked like to me when I was up there. The staging is moving around, and I was like, you know something, this is not looking too good. So if you look at the video, you see me up there, and I got my camera, and I'm like holding on to the rail for dear life, you know. But it's kind of weird because I'm actually like afraid of heights, believe it or not. Yeah, I don't know how that's possible, but when I have my camera, I don't know why, it just disappears. Now, if I had gone up there without my cameras, I would have been terrified. I can just tell you right now. But the view is just absolutely awesome. Of course, I took more photos than this, so if you want to check those out, let's see. So here's some of the other photos that I shot. As a matter of fact, you can see me taking this picture when during the video, if you check that out. Here's another one. I mean, you can see the south end of New Bedford right here, which is a peninsula that extends outwards. So this would be the harbor right here, and it's like 100 and something feet up in the air. It's pretty intense. I like this photo a lot because it kind of looks like he's praying at the very top of the steeple, and that gentleman there is actually the president of Synaxo, the company that that has been performing the work up there, and it's amazing how accommodating they were. So here's actually the steeple that you see in the back. So we were right at the top there, and this is ahead of time when they were hauling the cross up. It's cool. It's cool that initially it wasn't like they're like, oh yeah, go up on the staging and you know, make a fool of yourself up there. It took a little while to grow the relationship, but it works. You know, if you take your time and then they start understanding that all you want to do is the best job that you can. Yeah, then slowly you become accepted, and that's the way it usually works. So that was on Wednesday. What else? So this was yesterday. And this is an interesting shot because I like photographs like this. At first, you really don't see what's going on. And then, if you look closely, there's a woman actually crossing the street right at the top there. But the whole idea with this is that the lieutenant governor, who's at the edge of the frame here, was speaking about changing this whole area of downtown New Bedford, which is Union Street. I also took another cool shot, which was of a spider eating up a fly, and that was pretty intense. So the question might be, what did I take today? Well, here's this is in Buzzards Bay, and if you look closely, there's two guys there, but like this is like the Where's Waldo type of photograph. If you look even closer, look, there's two more guys on the edge of the frame there. So that's one photo, and I also took another photo. So here's this morning, there was a woman from the town of Mattapoisett, and she was blowing the leaves. They were collecting the leaves, because especially here in the U.S. in the Northeast during the fall season, it's like hundreds of millions of pounds of leaves, and no matter how beautiful they are, if you have a yard like I do, you do not look forward to clean this stuff up. I mean, there was a lot of interesting stuff this week, a lot of driving around, a lot of discovery, but it's no different than any other week. And I think the whole idea of heading out with no particular, agenda is, I think, the beauty of community photojournalism, especially because you can go out and you can say, hey, look, I found something really cool, and then the paper will react and say, hey, maybe we should do a story about it. Obviously, I had assignments as well, but photographically, they weren't nearly as interesting as those other things. So, thanks for watching. See you next week.